Well, it's official. Michael Bloomberg is running for president, despite saying back in March that he wouldn't because he's too old, and he said that if he did, he would have to, quote, change all of his views and go on an apology tour in order to appeal to the Democrat voters because the party has shifted so far to the left. You may recall that he actually made fun of Joe Biden and Beto O'Rourke for going on their apology tours and apologizing for their past positions that weren't left enough. And now, guess who's on his apology tour? Apologizing for his policies when he was the mayor of New York City.
I now see that we could and should have acted sooner and acted faster to cut the stops. I wish we had. I'm sorry that we didn't. But I can't change history. However, today, I want you to know that I realized back then I was wrong. And I'm sorry.
2 years ago, Mr. Bloomberg predicted that President Trump would win re-election in 2020 since the economy's doing so fantastic, and a lot of people who reluctantly voted for him in 2016 are now very happy with what he's done for the country, and many who sat the election out are now also on board the Trump train. Aside from being the former mayor of New York City, he also owns Bloomberg News, which has a popular website and a television channel, which maybe he should tune into once in a while because even they are predicting that President Trump's going to win re-election.
What they've historically done, these models, is they compare what would happen if the economy in a strong sense would continue at Election Day 1 year from now. And given that, it shows that President Trump would decidedly win based on the fact that the economic growth remains strong, unemployment is at historically low levels, and that also inflation has remained in check, even with economic growth.
Now, we can't get too confident because the banksters will probably try to crash the economy just before the election to pin it on President Trump, since it is essentially a house of cards waiting to collapse. I'm not an economist, of course, but we need to pray that that doesn't happen until at least President Trump is in his second term. But so far, so good.
It was another happy day on Wall Street, another round of records, right? You've got the Dow, NASDAQ, S&P 500, all closing at all-time highs. And here's the thing, folks, it's the breadth of this that's really remarkable. Over 400 stocks are up for the year. Over 300 are up 20% for the year. It just doesn't stop, folks. So I'm here to let you know you can participate in it. I think it's going to keep going.
Oh, I almost forgot. Bloomberg News has admitted that they will not report on anything bad about Michael Bloomberg or the Democrats, only President Trump.
Editor-in-Chief John Micklethwaite told the staff yesterday, "We will continue our tradition of not investigating Mike and his family and foundation. That prohibition extends to Bloomberg's rivals because we cannot treat Mike's Democratic competitors differently. But, and this raises the appearance of partisanship, the company will continue to investigate President Trump."
Well, thankfully we have my YouTube channel, and I was able to dig up this clip of Mr. Bloomberg from last year saying that it's a good thing to tax poor people more, which I'm sure isn't going to go over very well with the Democrat voters.
So I listen to people saying, oh, we don't want to tax the poor. Well, we want the poor to live longer so that they can get an education and enjoy life. And that's why you do want to do exactly what a lot of people say you don't want to do. And there's just no question, if you raise taxes on full sugary drinks, for example, they will drink less, and there's just no question that full sugar drinks are one of the major contributors to obesity, and obesity is one of the major contributors to heart disease and cancer and a variety of other things.
Back in 2012, when he was the mayor of New York, he banned the sale of large sodas throughout the entire city because they just have too much sugar in them. Stores and restaurants sued the city, and an appeals court ruled that it was unconstitutional for him to ban large sodas. Then he tried to put a gigantic tax on soda like many other major cities in order to pay for Obamacare. It's too early to tell how well he's going to do in the race, but the fact that he jumped in, especially this late in the game, shows that the Democrat establishment was concerned that neither Joe Biden or Elizabeth Warren had much of a chance against President Trump. And it appears the liberal media industrial complex is getting behind him because he may be the only Democrat who has a chance to go head-to-head against President Trump.
He's probably certainly the most successful businessman in New York, one of the 5 or 10 most successful businessmen in the country.
Truth is, if he stands on a stage with Donald Trump, I think he matches up very well. He's actually a businessman. He's actually a billionaire. He's actually a philanthropist. He's all the things that Trump pretends to be.
In the smoke-filled room, you'd say, on paper, Bloomberg has the right balance of what you want to win a broad election.
The bumper sticker for Michael Bloomberg is Donald Trump, but richer, more successful, and less offensive.
How much money? Let's put it up.
Let's put it up. Can't get enough of this graphic. So we're talking about the war between the billionaires, and look at the net worth.
Clearly, Bloomberg is a lot richer than President Trump is. Those billions.
As we know, Donald Trump has prided himself on what he views as his business acumen, his business success, being a wealthy man. Well, that's something that Michael Bloomberg clearly brings to the table.
Trump is the ultimate charlatan, is the ultimate fake. He can peel that emperor's clothes off of Trump just about better than anybody. I think this is huge, huge news, and I do think he's an electable candidate.
And speaking of the liberal media industrial complex, you can now get the graphic from the cover of my new book on a shirt. Of course, it's available at a t-shirt, long sleeve, and a hoodie, and my Black Friday special begins today, where you can save 20% off of any of my shirts by using the promo code SAVE20 at the checkout. So head on over to markdice.com or click the link in the description below, enter the promo code SAVE20 at the checkout, and check them out!